Hello people, Lee here, coming to you from the Man Cave. Now, comics, big part of my childhood, and still going strong today. So where did my passion for comics begin? Well, obviously when I was little, as a little kid, I'm sure I'm not the only one, sat there, Spider-Man, Batman, enjoying all those kinds of things really, but I think my passion really kicked in probably when I was about 12 years old. A couple of my cousins, I remember we were going out for the day, and they're like, we're going to this place called Forbidden Planet. I was like, what the hell was that? Like, just the name alone sounded cool in itself. They said, oh, it's this comic shop in London. I was like, really? Like a shop that just does comics? And like, yeah, like come down, check it out. So I went down there and I walked in and God, I mean, I'm talking the old Forbidden Planet, like not the new sort of post Big Bang Theory geek style Forbidden Planet we have nowadays, but the old Forbidden Planet, which was never really packed at all. But I walked in and it just kind of blew me away, just like racks and racks of comics. Just like, I was amazed. Now, I mean, to me, when I was younger, comics, it was kind of like your Marvel, like Spider-Man, Hulk, Cap, Iron Man, like all the classic things, but it was just walking in and seeing so many other titles and that. I can remember being in there, we must have spent a couple of hours in there, and my first purchase in there was this. The Return of Dr. Fate issue 1, which, considering how old this is now, is still holding up well today. And I think that's where my passion sort of began there, really. And from that moment, I was hooked. Like, every weekend I'd be going up there, picking up a few issues and that. And it's just kind of sort of escalated from there, really. Now, I think my favourite superhero is pretty much always is going to be Spider-Man, really. I've always about Spidey. I kind of tend to judge a lot of maybe heroes and maybe judged on their rogues gallery, and Spidey has sort of had that in abundance. I was never really a big fan of the Green Goblin, funny enough. I don't dislike the Green Goblin. He's been involved in some of the major storylines in the Spidey history, i.e. death of Gwen Stacy. But I don't know, I was not a huge fan. Now, the Hobgoblin, you see the first appearance here, issue 238. I thought it was about a hobby, but I'm a big fan of Hobgoblin and that. But I think my main draw when I started collecting Spider-Man, at the time, Todd McFarlane was the artist on Spidey then, and I know sort of Todd got a lot of people are McFarlane fans out there, but for me it was the way he drew Spidey and that. You look at some of those covers and that, I mean, Spidey's like all twisted, contorted everywhere, webs out, and that was what really pulled me in. As you can see here, what we got here, they've got the first issue of first 298, first Todd McFarlane run of the issue there, and obviously with McFarlane, obviously came the classic issue 300, which for any comic fans out there know, which was the first appearance of Venom. Now, Venom is pretty much, he is my favourite Spider-Man villain, I would have thought. I don't know what it was about him. Could you class him as a villain? Like, he in the way he protected the innocents and that, but I just remember seeing Venom and thinking, whoa, it's like a big roided up Spidey in a black costume. Like, and that was it. I was kind of really hooked on Spidey there, and like I said, I did really enjoy the McFarlane Spidey run, which I think it went from issue 298 to maybe issue 348 off the top of my head. I'm not 100% certain, but I think Marvel obviously knew Venom was huge, and I think they tended to cash in on that when Carnage came along. And Carnage was all the sort of bad stuff of Venom, really, the evil side, Cletus Cassidy, serial killer. He just was pretty badass. I went for a phase when, for about 4 years, I kind of sort of dropped out for a little while, just what was going on in the whole comics world. And then I sort of decided to make my return to it. And one thing I did pick up and did very enjoy and thoroughly recommend is this. The Carl Yost Crane X-Force run. Now, this is amazing. It kind of introduced me to X-23, which is now fast become one of my favourite characters. But the artwork alone in this book is fabulous. And I remember opening it and thinking, wow, is is this how far comic artwork has now become? Like, it is amazing. If you have not read it, I advise you to pick up that entire run. You good storylines, fabulous artwork. You will not be disappointed. And it seems like comics nowadays, like, I mean, modern stuff, what am I reading? I love Fables. Fables is, if you haven't read it, I advise you thoroughly to check out the Fables stuff. It is amazing. And obviously Walking Dead. Walking Dead obviously very huge now with the TV series. If any of you who are big fans of the series have not gone back to check out the source material, to quote the Deftones, ignore the fashion, go buy the book. Like, with the Walking Dead run, it's like when I first started reading it and I heard like they're going to do the TV series, I thought fabulous. And I don't know, don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying the TV series of Walking Dead and that. They have deviated from the comics a lot. And that kind of bugged me at first, but now looking back on it, I think now I'm kind of watching Walking Dead and thinking, well, I'm not sort of knowing what to expect now. They're kind of sort of sticking vaguely to the storyline along where the comics were going. But you've got sort of new characters and that coming in, i.e. Daryl Dixon, who I did hear that they were going to introduce into the comics at some point due to his popularity. But yeah, so obviously, yeah, if you're a fan of Walking Dead TV series and you haven't checked out the source material, then I fully advise you to go back and do it. Like, Sailor Boy is great. I'm still loving it today. Picked up my latest trade paperback recently of that and thoroughly enjoying it. So that kind of wraps up this week's episode of Hanging with Havok. If you've enjoyed my ramblings, I'd say that if any comments, please feel free to drop a comment in the comments box, like just down there. I'd like to know if any other sort of Todd McFarlane Spider-Man fans out there. Really, like I say, I know a lot of people weren't too happy with Todd's run, but can't fault it in my book. But anyway, also to wrap this episode of Hanging with Havok up, my weekly Sixx shout out goes out and thoroughly deserved this one. It's my friend Katie Fox. Now, I don't know if any of you subscribe to Katie, but check out her vlogs. I can listen. This girl has a passion for comics, and I love to sit near anyone talk with a love for comics. But I just love listening to her. You pop over, check her out. I'll put all her notes down below in the description and that. But check her out if you've got any interest in comics at all. Go and listen to Katie. I can listen to her talk about comics for ages. Like, just it's so nice to see someone who has a passion for characters, storylines, and go and subscribe to Katie Fox. Do it now. So anyway, that's it for me. And as always, if you want to get in touch with me, get me on Twitter at Sixx Havok. And until the next time, Sixx out.